Welcome back to another KLIM product comparison. I'm Lucas, and today we're going to be looking at our lineup of adventure gloves. We're going to compare all these and talk about what kind of the differences are between each one and what they're going to do for you. First things first, on my left, you are right, we're going to go up in price starting from there. So let's just get right into it. These two gloves on my left are a little bit of wild cards. These are more in our off-road and dual sport category. However, I chose them for today's video because they do have the CE KP1 knuckle protection rating. So that's for impact on the knuckles. We'll put this on. This is the Mojave Pro Glove. Very airflowy, lots of mesh on the backhand, lots of perforated leather on the front right here. Multi-touch fingertips, little palm slide pad, impact pad right there. And of course, knuckle protection across the back. Very flexible, very nice lightweight glove. Great for hot weather where you want a bunch of airflow. Now you're gonna see as we go through these first few gloves, these are all gonna be warm weather, non-waterproof, hot weather kind of oriented gloves. So we're just gonna go through these first four right here really quick because they're all in a similar category in that sense. Next up is the Dakar Pro. A little bit less airflow, a little bit more padding on the back. Sure, they all have the same impact rating on paper, but use your judgment when you're considering like how much force these are actually gonna absorb, because just because they meet the same rating doesn't mean that they're all actually going to work the same in the real world. Here we have some padding across the back of the knuckles and then across also the fingers as well, a little more than the Mojave Pro, a little bit less mesh, a little bit less airflow. You don't want your hands to get super cold, but you still want something that's going to flow some air. The Dakar Pro is a really good option for you. Again, another slide pad just like the Mojave Pro, a little bit fewer perforations in the palm as well. So you see that little difference there where the use case is similar, but the Dakar Pro is going to flow a little bit less air than the Mojave Pro. Next up is going to be the Baja S4 Glove. This is a purpose-built adventure glove. These two gloves, the Dakar Pro and the Mojave Pro, those are like dual sport gloves, light ADV gloves, I would say. These are getting into like the more serious, heavy adventure world, but still mesh, still perforated leather, offering a lot of airflow. We'll put these on here for just a second. So I'll pull those on with that nice entry assist pull loop right there. Cinch it up, you can see it goes further up your wrist than the other two gloves and the other two off-road gloves. So we're seeing more protection here across the back of the hand, back of the wrist right there for that wrist knuckle, and for the slide pad is a little more aggressive right there. But again, lots of perforations through that leather palm, multi-touch fingertips still, knuckle protection here on the back of the thumb, same as the Dakar Pro, and then lots of knuckle protection across the front there as well, across the knuckles, but these are gonna scoop a bunch of air and flow lots of air through the knuckle area. So we're getting a bunch of airflow through this. You can think of this like the Baja S4 could be like a Mojave Pro glove. This is even more upgraded than the Mojave Pro glove right there. Again, that CE KP1 knuckle protection rating and lots of airflow through here. I keep mentioning that, but it's true. Baja S4 flows a lot of air. Now we'll jump over to the beefiest warm weather airflow glove that we have, and that is the newly redesigned for spring 2026 Badlands Aero Pro Short Glove. Nice big Velcro tab right there. Entry assist pull loop. Throw this on. Again, you see really good coverage across that wrist knuckle right there. A nice palm slide pad right there. And then a really beefy, really large knuckle protector across there. So we redesigned this, made it a little more comfortable across the back of your knuckles and still offering that huge protection across your knuckles. Because if you're crashing and your hands are hitting the pavement, you want something beefy like this to protect you. Again, lots of airflow through the Badlands Aero Pro Short Glove. Lots of perforations here in the leather in the front. These scoops right here will pull air, perforations across the backhand, across the thumb, and of course across the palm as well, with some reinforcements right there. Next up is the Adventure GTX Short Glove, moving into the Gore-Tex world of things here, being waterproof, windproof, all that good stuff. Nice beefy knuckle protection across here, knuckle protection for the fingers, a squeegee for your face shield or your goggles, but I'll throw this on and we'll take a closer look. And there we go. We got nice protection across the slide pad right here for the palm. That's nice and beefy. Beefy knuckle protectors, like I said. Finger knuckle protectors, squeegee, and then a nice articulated palm here to help you grip onto the bike. So it's kind of pre-articulated. The Gore-Tex gloves, because of all the additional materials that are laid up in there, are usually a little bit bulkier, of course, than the mesh gloves. So we pre-articulate these to make it easier to hold onto the bars very well. And of course, when I talk about the palm is fully bonded Gore-Tex. So that means all the layers of the internal liner, the Gore-Tex, and the leather on the outside right here that you see, that's all laminated together. So you're not gonna have shifting layers. You're gonna feel like you just have one layer between your hands and the bars, which is nice for that added control. And then one last glove to go through, that's the Badlands GTX Long Glove, which is this one right here. Long glove, as the name implies, this is a gauntlet glove. Nice big gauntlet there with, I don't know if you can see that, and there is a neoprene little collar type thing on the very inside of the glove to really seal up your wrist for that cold wind, the rain, whatever else you might be dealing with. And on that note, when we talk about cold wind and rain, this one has some backhand insulation, some thin backhand insulation. So you run this with heated grips, you get the heat up into your palm, and then of course that insulation to help keep your backhand warm. Similar knuckle protector to the Badlands Aero Pro Short Glove, nice big beefy knuckle protector there. Knuckle protection across the fingers as well, a squeegee for your face shield. The other glove on your right hand side actually has an additional squeegee. This one is for like ice, like you got to scrape ice off your face shield, which hopefully you're not dealing with that, but you can. This one's a little harder material to scratch that ice off. And of course, touchscreen fingertips, articulated palm, nice pretty low profile, low seam amount here in the palms, and then of course a palm slide pad and a pad here for the back of your wrist knuckle. And then this adjustment feature right here is really nice. It is a strap. You can preset your tension, so you can cinch that up if you want, and then that strap goes onto the actual main entry Velcro piece. So you open this up and your preset tension is already there, kind of nice. And that is all for our current spring 2026 lineup of adventure gloves. If you guys have any questions, hit us up in the comments. Find us on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, all the social media. We're on there. That's all for now. Thanks for watching.